try to have good morals all the time. If you don't, you just might lose your mind. So try to have good morals all the time, 'cause you really do not want to lose your mind. You really do not want to lose your mind. If you're bad, you will wish that you had been good. You will wish that you would not have been a person who wallowed in sin so much, but now you have lost touch.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm Christy Malloyd, and I'm the chair of the Voter Services Committee of the League of Women Voters. I'm here to welcome you on behalf of the League. The League is a nonpartisan organization and also nonprofit. We do not endorse nor support candidates or parties. Since 1920, the League of Women Voters has worked to educate and inform voters. Membership is open to all men and women aged 16 and up. The Lafayette League encourages informed and active participation in government. Our members work to increase understanding of public policy issues and to influence public policy through education and advocacy. We have resources to help you get registered to vote, but a quick reminder that yesterday was the last day to register by mail. So at this point, if you want to participate in the October 12th election, and I sincerely hope you all will, you need to check your registration and update it via the Go Vote website through the Secretary of State's office. And we, the League members, are here and happy to help you complete that process tonight. We are proud to have this evening as moderator for our forum, Ms. Rachel Laudiger. She is the Student Government Association President at UL Lafayette. Please help me in welcoming Ms. Rachel Laudiger.
Good evening and welcome to our candidate forum at the main library. Tonight we're offering the public a glimpse of the candidates for Lafayette City Council. We're delighted to have all candidates running in District 1 and 3 out of 4 candidates running in District 5 for tonight's forum. Unfortunately, Mr. Glenn Lazard, running for City Council District 5, contacted us to let us know he would not be able to attend tonight due to unforeseen circumstances. First, some housekeeping. Please take this time to put your cell phones on silent for the duration of the forum. Next, on the format, the questions will be new to the candidates. They have not received them in advance. The questions are designed to give the candidates an opportunity to express their positions on issues relevant to voters. Our process tonight will be to give each candidate by district in alphabetical order 1 minute to introduce themselves, and then we'll give them 2 minutes for closing remarks. In between the intro and the closing, we'll pose questions to each candidate in rotating order. Candidates are asked not to address each other directly, as this isn't a debate, it's a forum. Answers will be limited to 1 minute each, strictly enforced by our timekeeper, Deborah Ami. She will give candidates a 15-second warning and stop them with a warning signal if they go over the 1-minute mark. Now, let's hear from our candidates. Please introduce yourselves, beginning with Mr. Ford.
I'm John Ford, candidate for District 1. I'm accompanied by my wife, Charlotte Ford, my girlfriend of 50 years. I'm a Northside businessman. I've been in business in the city of Lafayette for over 45 years, and I'm looking forward to working with this community. As this community is beginning to change, we have to change with it. We have $500 million worth of investment dollars coming into the city of Lafayette. We have the new opportunity zones, opportunities to be able to invest into our community. And it's not about north, south, or west. It's about Lafayette as a whole. It is time for Lafayette, the city of Lafayette, to get its fair share. We have been under parish form of government for the past 24 years, and the city has not grown. And I'm hoping that by my being elected could help grow the city again.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to thank the Lady Women Voters for having us here, and I also would like to thank you guys for being here, because after all, it's going to be you guys that are going to make the decision who's going to lead District 3, well, it will be the new District 1 moving forward. My name is Patrick Pat Lewis. I'm from Long Life, residents of District 3. I've been married for 41 years. I'm 62 years old. I was born, educated, and also married in District 3. And another thing I just remembered today, I also retired from the district. So I know just about everything. I also retired. Okay, I have 2 kids and 2 grandkids. Again, I'm a lifelong resident of this district, District 3. I'm a supporter of a lot of things that happens in District 3. Again, when I first decided to run for the district, my slogan was, we can do better together. As long as whenever there's something that goes on in the district, I let my constituents know, so that way they can be involved in the district. And now, again, I just want you to remember, my name is Patrick Pat Lewis, number 121 on the ballot.
Mr. Pope?
Hi, Mark Pope, born in New Orleans, raised in Lafayette. Master's degree from USL. Right after USL, I got my dream job, Lafayette Consolidated Government. Worked there 27 years, all of it in the environmental division. Very proud of what I did. Started a chemical collection, improved the recycling, cleaned up South the Yang, tire collections. I'm a public servant. I want to continue. I retired 3 years ago. I worked part-time in radio. Been there 30 years. Kept that job all throughout my LCG career. The contrast of private industry and government is very fascinating. I got to live that study. I want to serve the people. I'm going to be an ambassador. I'll be out doing cleanups. I'll be out working the opportunity zones Mr. Ford talked about. I will be hands-on. I will lead from the front. I'm going to make City District 1 and the city of Lafayette better. Thank you.
Ms. Roy?
Hello, thank you, League of Women Voters, for having us, and thank you guys for being here tonight. My name is Sarah Goche Roy. I am number 123 on the ballot. I'm running for City District 1. I am a mother of 3. I'm lifelong born and raised on the north side of town. I'm a graduate of Karen Crowe High School and of UL. Sorry, Mark, not USL. I am married to an entrepreneur and a small business owner. Both my parents were entrepreneurs and small business owners. I do also teach in the public school system. This is my 10th year. I'm an itinerant teacher, so I travel around to multiple schools within the parish. I did the Leadership Lafayette program a little over a year ago. I graduated from that program. And during that time, it really opened my eyes to the needs within our community and the needs not being met in our community. And I'm not one to sit back and watch. I'm one to go out and do and make change. So here I am today, being more of a public servant and being willing to serve District 1 and make some real change.
All righty, my turn. My name is Matthew Size Jr. You can hear me? Okay. My name is Matthew Size Jr., a local business owner and entrepreneur in District 1. I'll start off with saying why I decided to run. I decided to run for office because I believe our community is in a transition point with issues like crime, economic disparity, blight, infrastructure, and crime. I think that right now we need strong and effective leadership. I have the passion, the skill set, the knowledge, and the ability to be aggressive in getting these issues done. And I think that, you know, we need new vision, new leadership, and new direction, and I plan on bringing so when I'm on the council. So my name is Matthew Size Jr., 124 on the ballot.
Hi, my name is Janet Jackson. I'm a wife, a mother, and a grandmother. I have 8 grandchildren. I have my master's degree in human service counseling. I'm a ex-law enforcement officer, for some of you who may not know that. I am currently serving as the director of X House. X House is a neighborhood outreach on the north side of town, which is in our district, and we've been doing that for several years. I've led the largest homeless, mentally ill outreach in this city of Lafayette called Day of Thanksgiving at Park Putnam. Also, I just want to say that our district has been left to rot, and somebody has got to take the stand to do something about it. Somebody has got to stand up and say, I will be a voice for the people. I will encourage the people because there are stars in District 5. Thank you.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Hello, everyone. My name's Lionel Rodriguez, and I'm a lifelong resident of the North Side. I graduated from Northside High School a long time ago. Graduated from USL a long time ago. And I'm also a downtown resident. I've lived on the North Side or the downtown area for many years, and I've also worked in the downtown area most of my career. I graduated from Leadership Lafayette, class 17. I'm currently the general manager of Louisiana Mortgage Associates. I've had my own business for several years also. The reason I'm running is because I want to bring opportunity, equity, and solutions back to the North Side and downtown, which has been missing for a very, very long time. Thank you.
Mr. Staton?
Yes, my name is Aaron the Fixer Staton, Staten in the South. Born and raised in District 5, Vise, off Simcoe, my whole life. I went to Woodville Elementary, LJ Alamo, which is in Lafayette, and finished at Northside High. They call me the Fixer because I've been known in the community for fixing things, computers mainly, but also other problems people have in the community, they call me and I'm able to come up with a solution. So that's where that comes from. My major thing is technology. So when we talk about economic development, that goes back to the jobs I want to bring and create that have a lot to do with technology. I'm endorsed by 2 former council members, one a man and a female, and many great leaders in our community in District 5.
Thank you, candidates. For our first question, we will begin with Mr. Lewis. As a representative on the City Council, how would you ensure a successful transition to the new structure of government, having 2 separate councils?
Thanks for the question. 2 separate council. One is the city, one is the city, and the other is the parish. We need to collaborate. We know the parish and unincorporated areas, especially the unincorporated, is just about broke. The parish is gone broke. So we need to figure out a way how we can make the parish be a whole. Just like the city, we kept talking about when we were talking about separating the 2. Lafayette needs to have its own autonomy. Lafayette has about, well, not has about, they really do have a $500 million budget with about 130,000 people. So with when you talk about the parish needs some funding. So that's where we need someone that knows how to negotiate with the government, with the rest of the parish people and the city people, so we can come together and make sure that the parish get their fair share and the city continue having its own autonomy.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Pope?
Government is complicated. It's going to be especially complicated now. You've got the parish and the city councils both have to approve budgets. The budget process will be done jointly. Government is complicated, I say again. Millages. Some millages are paid in the parish. They're used in the city, they're used in the parish. We have to look at that and see drainage, for example. We have to have memos of understanding between the city council and the parish council. We have to know what millages pay for what. City of Lafayette has a sales tax, brings in quite a bit, gets in lieu of taxes from Lafayette utility system. The parish does not have that. It's going to take an in-depth understanding of government, and it's going to take being very flexible. There is no standard pat answer. We're going to have to be flexible. The more knowledge you have, the better. I have lots of knowledge and experience, 27 years worth, had a $15 million budget in the environmental division. I'm ready for the challenge.
Thank you. Ms. Roy?
Hi, I think collaboration is the number one thing that we need to look at when we look at this. We're only going to have 5 people on the city council, and those 5 people need to be visionaries, and they need to be investigators. We have to be able to look at a budget and know what we're looking at, look again at the allocation tables, and make sure that the city is only paying what the city should be paying as it goes to these combined government assets. I've worked in the collaborative field of the arts for many, many years. Government is a team sport, and we aren't going to win alone. We have to make sure that we're protecting LUS. I did work on Fix the Charter. I did canvass for that movement because I was represented by a district, what was considered a parish council person in District 2, but I was a city resident, and I didn't feel like I had a voice as a city resident, and now I hope to really have a major voice in the city of Lafayette and make some real impacts.
Thank you. Mr.
So
Schreier?
for me, I think that the best way to collaborate, and we all talked about collaboration, is extremely important that both councils, both the parish and the city council, meet together for the budgeting. I mean, being that I know we're trying to separate and is extremely important, but at the same time, I'm in sales and understanding that all parties have their ideas of what they want done, and parish doesn't have much funds anyway right now. And so I think it's extremely important that both councils sit together and have the meeting alongside with the mayor president. And I think also that both councils should also still sit together with the mayor president once a month as a council. So for me, when it comes to budgeting, I think that it's extremely important that we look at, like she said, LUS and in protecting LUS and our fiber, and also coming together, making sure that we still do protect the parish. I think it's important that we still be a part of the parish because Lafayette is in Lafayette Parish Consolidated Government.
Okay, my answer to that is, and I'll repeat this again, this seat, City Council District 5, is very strategic. And when you go to the voting polls on that day, remember that, because the person that you elect to put in this seat will have to have an interpersonal personality. That means they can deal with people, they can deal with conflict resolution, they have the mind to bring the people together when there's an ought. So this seat is very strategic. Remind you that it's also contiguous with Districts 1, District 2, and District 4. So it touches every district except District 3. So that means that we can do a successful transition, but our minds have to be made up to work together. We keep hearing the word collaborate. I heard someone else say the other day, we can keep saying work together all we want to, but we got to do something. But we must work together.
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez?
Do you mind repeating the question for me?
Sure. As a representative on the city council, how would you ensure a successful transition to the new structure of government having 2 separate councils?
Okay. So it's going to be a bumpy road. We can't sugarcoat it. It's going to be the first year that you're going to have a split council, 5 and 5. 3/4 have to approve the budget. So what I'm going to bring to the table is leadership. And I'm going to bring a new set of eyes to look at the problems that we're going to be facing and the challenges that we're going to be facing. But we're all on the same team. We all have to share a common vision, despite us being a split council. Okay? I'm going to be fighting for District 5. North Side, downtown, I'm going to be fighting for more equity and more opportunity because that's what's been lacking. So in those budget hearings, believe me, I'm going to be an advocate for us because look around. We need somebody to be a cheerleader. We need somebody to go out there and fight for us. And in those budget hearings, those other council members are going to be doing that themselves for their districts. And time's out. Thank you.
Mr. Staton?
Yes, the key to me is working together, being transparent, and communicating. As you say, we haven't done this probably since the 90s or prior, having separate. So we're going back to, and then it's halfway done. As you know, we have one general fund, and it's not actually a parish fund. So like you say, we have to really work together. And as I think that was Sarah was saying, try to work on getting the parish back all of their assets instead of it being a liability of the city. But the biggest thing still is working, and my background is in community service. All I've ever done is community service, work in community-driven organizations, nonprofits. So it comes easy for me to work with anybody, regardless of race, gender, political affiliation. It doesn't matter. Once we have good, integral reasons for our community to come forward and move it forward is all that matters. And anything that I don't know, as I say, I'm endorsed by a council, man and woman, prior. So I do go to them and ask them questions, you know, how can I do this? So I have a good team for anything I don't know, because I don't know everything, but I do know to go to people who do know.
Thank you. Our next question will begin with Mr. Pope. Mr. Ford.
First thing I will do, I will allow each city within the parish to take its own share of the resources equitably. I would also allow for us to come together and reorganize our budget. $40 million left the budget for drainage and dredging of the Vermilion River before we have even set into office. We're going to have to reevaluate all of the needs of every community within the parish if we're going to be fair to every community within the parish. So we need to stop looking at the past, what has been done in the past. This is going to be a new city council, it's going to be a new parish council, and we need to be able to identify that we cannot do business the way we've done in the past. We have to do it equitably.
My apologies, Mr. Ford. Now, our next question will begin with Mr. Pope. What is one of the biggest challenges to development in the urban core, including downtown and the north side, and how can the city council address that challenge?
Downtown is being subsidized by local government. We have the government in the business of real estate speculation. We have LITA, the Lafayette Public Trust Finance Authority, and DDA putting millions of dollars into renovating buildings. It's not how it works, folks. It's not the free market. It's in Plan Lafayette. Nobody's read it. It's 200 pages. It's very complex. The free market takes care of that. You and I are paying with taxpayer dollars to subsidize government. They're in the business of real estate speculation. What we've got is the government subsidizing supply to create demand. Think about that. It's backwards. Hoping to create demand. We need to reconfigure how things are working now. Too many tax dollars going into downtown. It's great if it can redevelop, but it has to be the private industry.
Ms. Roy?
I'll first start with saying some of the benefits that we have about development on the north side, and it's infrastructure. The infrastructure is there. We have the roads. We have the infrastructure there. We have the open lots. We have the closed down buildings. We have space in District 1 for businesses to come, but they're not. And so we have to try and figure out why, and we have to get down to the reasonings behind it. And I think a lot of it is because our poverty level in District 1 is the highest poverty in the city. And no business is going to come where people can't afford to purchase their goods and services. So we need to work on our workforce development. We need to work on the public schools that we have on the north side. I teach in them. I see them every day. No middle-class family who can't afford private school is going to move into District 1 and put their kids in public school there. Also, blight. That's a major problem. We are the front door of Lafayette, and we have a blight problem. And I think bringing back our redevelopment authority to really assess those issues is a need.
The struggle that I see to redevelop the north side of town, for me, like she talked about a little bit of it, is blight. Our gateway is I-10, I-49. And to see that our I-49, I-10, the way it looks, the interest point of our city, for me, that's the first thing that we need to address. And the next thing for me is the average income of our area is $18,000 to $24,000 in District 1, on the north side part of District 1. And for me, we have to address the fact that businesses are not coming to the area because we're not incentivizing businesses to come in the area on the north side of town. I mean, look at Louisiana Avenue. It's been up and coming, it's growing, and it's doing very well, but that was based off of tax incentives. So I think that if we start tax incentivizing businesses to come on the north side of town, I think we'll see growth, and we clean up our gateway. It would be extremely important on the growth of the north side of town.
Yes, I think my primary focus would be is crime, lowering the crime rate. By improving public safety, we will see our crime rate go down. That's a good way to fix it. We got to bring back the neighborhood watches, okay? We got to bring back those old moms that would sit on the porch and watch for our homes while we're working. I got a crime stat recently that stated that the hot spots in Precinct 5, which is District 5, Precinct 4, excuse me, and the crime rates happen between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. Now, who's stealing in broad daylight, 7 a.m. and 4 p.m.? So the plan is to get these people employed, okay? One of the ways we can do that is by getting private developers to come out and employ these young men that's sitting around in our neighborhoods. Thank you.
I think it's going to take a joint effort of the whole community to come together. I'm running because I want to see businesses come back to the north side. He mentioned the average household income. I'm in the mortgage business. You can't buy a house with that kind of income. We want to convert renters into homeowners so that they have pride of ownership. But saying that you want to bring business back in this campaign, it's been a learning process. And when businesses are looking to locate in the north side, what are they going to look at? All the schools are failing in my district. The crime rate, they're going to look at the crime statistics. They're going to look at housing. So we need to jointly work. Even though the school board is a separate entity, we all have to have a shared vision and work with them and support them in trying to get our schools where they're passing, and the community leaders and with private investors and with incentive programs and with throwing the kitchen sink at the whole problem. We need to do it because the north side needs it, and I'm going to be an advocate and try to help out as much as I can. Thank you.
Okay. I see we have Ms. Begno in the building, and I just want to repeat, I believe she said sidewalks, wastewater, and economic development for the downtown area, because you asked what were the biggest challenges to the urban core. Now, for District 5, that would be more along the lines of plight, poverty, the homes we see that are empty, and low to no economic development. It's no secret. We see Walmart closed. We see, look like Advance Auto just closed last week or so. Taco Bell, we can go back to Albertsons, it's been a lot. My focus to combat that is for the District 5, not the downtown, but some of that is to work with the programs like youth mentorship, because like we were saying, some of them with the youth, they had one that was 15 years old that shot a underage, so like teenagers, so we have to have programs for those, work on the guns that are black market, and we'll come to that later. I'm sorry, I'm out of time. It's a complicated problem.
We have to become intentional. We have to make our downtown valuable again. It is not valuable at this particular time. And when we take our urban core and we take our downtown area and we invest in it, the value of our city is going to go up. Our parish value is going to go up. Then we can begin to build our city from the bottom of North Lafayette all the way through the downtown community and into the All Center. It's a must that we reinvest into our urban core and our downtown area. We know that we can redevelop our urban core in our downtown area. We developed Scott Broussard, Youngsville, Karen Crow. We have invested hundreds of $millions in cities in our parish. It's time for the city of Lafayette to get its fair share, and let's move that way.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes, every major city you go to, there is a downtown, a viable downtown. So why should Lafayette be any different? We should have a viable downtown, just like every other metropolitan area. There are 4 gateways into Lafayette: I-49, Louisiana Avenue, University, and Ambassador Caffrey. And if you take University Avenue going to downtown, you talk to some of the realtors, they bypass University. They probably take Louisiana Avenue or Ambassador Caffrey. So we need to make sure that to get to downtown, make sure that everything is wonderful, inviting. If you go to Baton Rouge or Lake Charles, New Orleans, or wherever you go, when you get to the downtown, normally it's very inviting to get there. So you want to make downtown a very viable area, you also need to make sure that your gateways are vibrant and look inviting to make sure people want to come back to visit Lafayette. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question will begin with Ms. Roy. On the subject of gateways, under the current mayor-president, investments have begun in the revitalization of University Avenue, the gateway to the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. Would you prioritize continued investments into the university corridor?
Absolutely. Right now, we have a wonderful overlay district in Louisiana Avenue, and so it makes it beautiful and it makes people want to stop there. Besides the construction right now that's deterring people, and so if I was driving down I-10 westward, I would wait until Scott because that's the entranceway that looks nice. We have to do something for one of our entranceways there. And if we've chosen University Avenue and we've done the studies and we've done the research and we've invested money there, I think we should continue that. And down University Avenue, from starting in Karen Crow or unincorporated area all the way down to Four Corners, past Four Corners, is in District 1. And I think the more we stimulate the infrastructure and we beautify the area there, the more economic development we'll have, and the more people will be invited to move there and live there and work there.
Is yes also for me. I think that we are moving a little too slow with it, to be totally honest with you. I think we need to be more aggressive and intentional in our infrastructure on the university area, the corridor. I think right now that if we ever get, like Brother Ford said, getting intentional in redeveloping that area, I think we would see a lot of change in our community, especially when it comes to crime. We talked about crime, but just think about it. When you address the infrastructure and economic development happen, that creates opportunities for job and opportunity for people. And so to combat crime is how it's a circle of things. And so I think when we address that area and we address the infrastructure part of it and we make sure that happens, I think we're gonna fix crime, we're gonna fix struggle, we're gonna fix poverty. And so it would be extremely important for me to be aggressive in making that happen.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes, I would continue with the entranceways as well. My heart is for I-49, the corridor south coming in from Opelousas. Everybody know that's a heartbreaking situation. We have the most traffic come through there. That is a gateway, the gateway. We have what is it? Mardi Gras and the other one, the Festival International. That's a lot of traffic that come through here. And when we have people coming through into our city through that gateway, even though it's the poorest part of Lafayette, we want people to be amazed at what they can see and the transition that can take place. We can beautify all of the entrances, all of the corridors, all of the throughways, and make them pleasing to the people that's coming into our city. Yes, thank you.
I can appreciate the work that's being done on University, but I'm partial to District 5, the intersection of the two major interstates, I-10 and I-49. What about our underpass, the one that comes into our downtown? Have you taken a look at that lately? That's what I'm talking about, equity. So I support that, but I also support the same kind of love on our side. That underpass has needed work for many years, and I think that somehow the gateway got stolen from where I grew up. How did that happen? You know, I think the gateway is I-49, I-10, and although I support what they're doing, I do think it's been slow in coming. I would expect that the same attention be given to I-49. We're being held hostage by this I-49 corridor. Nothing can happen until they freaking make up their mind. Thank you.
Yes, it's my understanding it's been over 3 years to get to this point of actual people working where you see them now at that our university section we're talking about. As we know, government moves slow, but even though it is out of my district, I do support because it helps all of us. You know, we strongest as our weakest link. So seeing the whole city do better is going to help all of us when we talk about fighting the issues we have, which is crime, public safety, blight, poverty, you know, low economic development, vacancies. That's going to really put a light to that corner, especially as we know Les Pay's been there. So, but my thing still would be to secure federal block grant money, which can go to community-driven organizations and to community economic development. and that won't use tax dollars.
We shouldn't have to wait to be embarrassed by a national sport broadcaster to come and tell us our gateway was ugly and filthy. That's what happened to university. That's why we have the movement that we have at university. I-49, I-10 is the only true gateway to this city. 500,000 cars at that intersection, it's the only gateway. I will support the activity that is going on in the university, continue to support it, but we have to look at our community gateways in its totality. We have to be equitably distribute the resources that we have to address all of those gateways. If we are able to address all of these gateways in a fashion that we can redevelop our nut corner, then we all win. The city wins and the parish wins.
I have to stand up on this one. When I started campaigning back in 2015, my slogan was, "We can do better together," and also improve University Avenue. I was the one that came up with that idea. We need to do something with University Avenue. The first project myself and the mayor worked on was beautifying the underpass. Back in 2016, around May, we had everything taken care of. We had volunteers who pressure wash, paint the underpass, but we ran into a roadblock, the railroad tracks. The railroad department, we cannot get the permits from the railroad. Then also University is a state highway. So that's the reason why it's happening now. It should have happened in 2016. The government moves slow, the state moves slow, but the funding is there. What you're seeing now is only a beginning. Thank you.
Mark Pope, City District 1. The answer is yes, I'm all for improving the university corridor. Problem is, I've said it, I'll say it throughout the night, government is complicated. Where does the concrete end? Where does the private property begin? You've got that. Think about it, folks. You got a curb that comes right up to private property. I've not seen the plan. I don't know what's involved. Pat's right. It is a state highway. So we got to look at the plan. Am I for it? Yeah, I'm for it. I'm all for it. It's not pretty. You can paint the underpass, so on and so forth. By the way, all due respect to my colleagues, see, that's the problem with big government plan Lafayette. Nobody understands the jargon. Nobody understands the terminology. People did not answer the question. The urban core is downtown. I, too, am for improving District 1. I will do cleanups. I will look for people to invest in opportunity zones to make it better. I will be a hands-on, hardworking, full-time ambassador for City District 1.
Thank you. Our next question will begin with Mr. Sias. The outgoing mayor-president engaged in discussions to sell or outsource the management of LUS to a private entity. Do you think LUS is appropriately structured and managed?
I think it is. And I definitely think that LUS shouldn't have not been trying to be for sale. I mean, it's simple. I think it's the core of our government right now, and I think it's extremely important to protect LUS.
Ms. Jackson?
Well, I would have to say I don't know enough about this situation or this question to answer you, but I will make it my business to find out. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez?
No, I would not support the sale or the attempt to sell the LUS. It's the only gem that we have in our government arsenal. Why would we try to sell that? So my answer would be no.
Mr. Staton?
Yes, we know the Fix the Charter came about to bring the city majority over LUS 5 because the parish was about to have a higher percentage of controlling city assets, which is LUS and LUS 5. So going back, this is why we're here where we are now in a partial deconsolidation. Of course, I do not support ever selling LUS 5, but I want to harness it and make it an economic opportunity, jobs for 40 to 60,000 plus pay, start, coding, web development, engineers, everything, because community lags if it's technology lags. We talk about the digital divide. Well, we can harness LUS for that, to start that process. Also, when we talk about public Wi-Fi, we can have that down Simcoe and Surrey. That's been my plan since last year. I already have an engineering firm ready to put it up. So I would never sell LUS. I want to capitalize LUS Fiber.
Mr. Ford?
Of course, I was against that arrangement that our parish governor was attempting to arrange. I think that we must keep LUS intact, and we also must keep investing in LUS to make sure that that entity continue to grow, whereas we can utilize that entity and the funds and revenues from that entity to reinvest in our community and address some of the blight, some of these, the crime and other issues that we have here in our community. As a businessman, that would have not been a thought for me to even consider.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes, I was against selling the LUS. I had a conversation with the mayor president. His intent was never to sell LUS or lease it or have it managed. It was just a group of people, Bernhardt Group, had reached out to him and asked just to do a survey to see if it would benefit the city. But somehow it grew out of hand, saying that his intent was to sell, manage, or lease LUS. And I believe him when he said it wasn't his platform to sell it. It wasn't something that he didn't want to do. Again, that's what a lot of people think. So again, my thought on that and my position was never to sell LUS, lease it, or manage it. That's something that brings a lot of cash flow to the city of Lafayette. So why would anyone want to sell it or lease it or manage it? Thank you.
Is the question sell LUS or LUS fiber?
The question is, do you believe LUS is properly structured and managed?
I believe LUS is an excellent organization. They've hit it on the nail. The citizens own LUS. It was a bad deal. Due respect to Mr. Lewis, there's a huge level of distrust for this government. We don't know the reasons behind that deal. There was a lot of behind the scenes wheeling and dealing going on. Let's segue to LUS fiber. It was warm, fuzzy, it felt good. We're going to bring people here, they'll be flocking. We owe $180 million on LUS fiber and $33 million internally. It was warm, fuzzy, and it felt good. LUS took on smart meters in 2010. It felt good at the time. It was warm and fuzzy. It's technology. Guess what, folks? 7 states have outlawed smart meters. Look it up. New York, Pennsylvania. Why? Because they're unreliable and they're at fault. They're suspect in lots of home fires. Canada is removing them. It was warm, fuzzy, and it felt good. You got to be careful with government in what you say. Let's do that.
Ms. Roy?
There's a trend going on in government around the country to liquidate assets, and I'm not sure if that was the mayor president's vision or not, but it is in our best interest to keep LUS. It's our cash cow, what makes money, and thanks to the charter fix that passed, LUS is now protected, and any sort of management agreements or shifts that go forward have to be voted on by the people. I believe it is properly managed. I had a meeting with Jeff Stewart, and that's another thing that this council will probably be deemed to do, is hiring a permanent director of LUS, because Jeff Stewart is still an interim. I think LUS is probably the only proactive part of our government that's actually kind of leading the charge and doing a lot of things progressively and really making some headway. And the rest of our departments can really learn a lot from what LUS has done.
Thank you. For our final question, we will begin with Ms. Jackson. Do you support the current plan for the I-49 connector, including the construction of an elevated interstate along Evangeline Thruway? Do you support an alternative connection for I-49 if not?
Well, no, I do not support the high-rise for I-49 connector. After talking to some of the residents, the last time we addressed this, I wasn't prepared in the way I should have, but after talking to some of the residents, they don't believe that this is the best thing for their city, because the corridor will actually take the business spectrum away from the city. So which means that they will pass over the business. We will miss business opportunities and revenue because of this. And also the chemicals that's coming from the vehicles, you know, and I was explaining about a situation in one of our neighboring cities where when you ride over it, Claiborne, I think it was, in Baton Rouge, where you can see how it has been detrimental to that community, how the homeless have just made it their home underneath that bridge. So I would definitely not support that. And I would have to say, I heard, time out. You have to wait.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Well, I don't support the current status of the thruway. If you ride on that thruway, you probably need to get your car aligned. And I support the I-49 corridor. For some reason, it's stalled out. And I'm not getting the correct information or the right information from everyone. Somebody's told me that the decision has already been made, that it will be a high-rise. So that decision has been made, according to some people that I've talked to. So I don't know why that question is, do we support it or we do not support it? It's been done. It just hasn't been executed. So I do think that something needs to be done. Like I said earlier, the north side is being held hostage by this corridor, so we need to move forward with the plan, and so that it can bring the quality of life back to the north side. Thank you.
Mr. Staton?
Yes, and same as Mr. Rodriguez said, I've heard too, it's already been finalized, you know, the choice has already been made, but the question is on where would the bypasses, the exits be. If that is true, then again, you know, there's nothing we can do. But still, the reason I wouldn't support if we could go back and change it is because the stats are showing plight, poverty, more homelessness, and I do not want that for District 5. I'm sure if any of you from there, you don't want more homelessness, plight, poverty in your district, in your homes. You know, I'm from that area, born and raised, so I drive there all the time. Now, what would probably be better is if the oil field industry, like say Homer, we could do a bypass on the west side to get Homer traffic to Lake Charles or Houston or something like that, maybe even on the east side around. But I know the original plan, like we should have had what Lake Charles had, a loop, because we had over 50,000 for it. But again, going back to the planning, it wasn't set up that way. But until I can see economic benefits for something like that that isn't detrimental as I've seen, then I do not support it.
Thank you. Mr. Ford?
I do not support an overpass at that intersection. What I support is us becoming intentional about the revitalization of I-49 and I-10. If we begin to invest into that corner at this particular time, we will be able to be the ones to drive what will happen with an overpass over our city. We cannot afford, at this particular time, we have 15% unemployment in North Lafayette. You have 18% poverty and another 12% of people at the verge of poverty. We have to begin to look at how we're going to address the need of the underserved in our community, and to look at that overpass before we look at those needs, it's ludicrous to me.
We have to stop and think, where will this underpass be built? In what neighborhood? Is it in your neighborhood? Is it in my neighborhood? Or is it in whose neighborhood? It's up to the people. Last time I had a town hall meeting, I brought the people that live right around that area if they wanted a high rise in that area. The answer was no. But the outsiders, people that live somewhere else, they wanted it for economic development, economics, money. But it's the people that lives there. That's the ones that's going to be affected. So what will I do? I'm for the people of District 1. Thank you.
Mr. Pope?
Mark Pope, City District 1. No, I am not for a high rise. Government's complicated. Here we go again. How many decades have we been kicking this down the road? I propose the Camellia Boulevard plan. Think about it, folks. How many millions of dollars did we spend buying up those houses and clearing them out and relocating those people? That's what needs to happen. That Evangeline Thruways was built right up to the houses. It's over 50 years old. The curbs are torn up. That's not what we want to show people when they first drive into Lafayette, Louisiana. Relocate the people. Do what they did in Camellia. Let's use the South Side model. It's time District 1, as Mr. Ford says, got its fair share. So do I support an alternative? You doggone straight. And it's going to take a lot of thinking outside of the box. Government is very slow, And unfortunately, as I've said, how many times? Yes, it's complicated.
Ms. Roy?
So of course, no one wants that. No one wants that because we live close enough to New Orleans, and many of us travel there and see the detriment of these overpasses and what happens there. And we don't want to turn into that. But if it is, as I've heard as well, it's going to happen, then let's start shifting and working towards how do we make that happen correctly? Because there are cities around the United States where these overpasses work. And they're beautiful, and they're engaging, and they work. So we need to, as a community, if this is going to happen, we need to start moving towards how we can make it work for us, how we can finally connect Macomb and Visay into downtown and not have that great divide that's happening in between it. How can I drive from Pont de Mouton to Taft Street twice a day, every day? And it is horrendous. And if we can just get something moving and we can start beautifying that area, it's a win. It's a win for all of us.
Mr. Saez?
For me, it's a no. It's obvious that it's detrimental to our community to have a high-rise run through our community, especially District 1. I think it's a benefit for the parish of Lafayette, but I'm not going to go into that. But for my people and my community, I think I would stand on that and say no. I would not support it. In an alternative option, I definitely think we do need an alternative option to it. I can't confirm nor say yes to what they're saying, that it's already set in motion. I haven't heard that. I heard that there is some other options out there. I heard that there's a flat option out there that they put out for the I-49. So for me, I would not support a high rise in our community. I studied a survey I think President Obama put out that high-rise in an urban community is detrimental to the community, and I believe in economic development and growth in our community, and so I think that it would be detrimental, so I say no.
Thank you. We have reached the point in our forum when the candidates will make a closing statement. Candidates, you will each have 2 minutes, and we will hear from candidates in reverse alphabetical order by district, with District 5 first. So, Mr. Staton, you'll begin.
All right, thank you all, Women League of Voters, and everybody in attendance. Again, I'm the fixer, number 134 on your ballot. The main things to know why you should vote for me. If you want integrity, you tired of people being bought and sold by politicians that's, taking deals under the table, only serving their corporate interest, then a vote for me is a vote to end this travesty. So, also, economic development. When we talk about our community, why it is like it is, like the first question, it is very complex because you have the crime issue that drives people away not to feel safe, to go to stores at night. You have the homes that's vacant with plywood, which there's a fix for that lowers gun violence by 37%. It's called using polycarbonate instead of plywood. It's a holistic, we have to look at it holistically. Working with the police, working with the community-driven organizations, working with the mayor behind it. If we get all these people, again, regardless of how you look, what you are, your political affiliation, just all of us coming together to the table to say, look, these are the problems in our community. We need solutions. That's all it's about. We got all these problems, and it don't matter what you think about, people, but can't we just come together for common goals, common interests? So that's what I'm about, putting people together across the table, because as we said, there'll be really 10 people because of the parish and the city council. So being able to work with everybody, regardless of what it is, being an effective communicator between people, that's what I stand for. And again, number 134 on your ballot, to end corruption, transparency, community focused, and driven to get the job done by any means for my people.
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez?
Like I mentioned before, I grew up on the north side. I went to MP Moss, Paul Bro, Northside High. I love the north side, and that's the reason I'm running. I wonder how many politicians during elections have told you that we can make change. I wonder how many politicians have told you that we can promise you that things are going to change. But has that change come to the north side in decades? I don't see it. I don't see it. So I decided to run. Can I make a difference? I don't really know, but I'm going to try. I'm going to bring a private business mentality to government, which I know doesn't mesh together very well. But in private business, when we need to get something done, we find a way to do it, and we get it done. It doesn't take years. You know, I'm a manager of a mortgage company on Lee Avenue, and when I call the government to come fix my sidewalk, and they tell me it's 2-year wait. In business, you go out of business if you tell your customer that. So I think that we have to bring some type of private business mentality to government and try to make sense of it and to get things done. Because what we've been doing on the north side has not been working. And I applaud all the politicians that have run for office and have been elected and have tried. But for some reason, the north side remains to be that pocket that's not prospering. You can look north of I-10, Scott, Youngsville, Broussard. Why is everybody else prospering except this pocket? I'm going to try to make a difference. And I'm going to be an advocate, a cheerleader, and a salesman for the north side. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Ms. Jackson?
Yes, ma'am. Well, in 2012, I came here with boots on the ground. Some of you in this room may remember that. I came in working in the community. I come here with my mindset. It wasn't because I was asked to run for city council. My works have proven for themselves in the community. So I want to say this: we can turn this bus around. We need each other's help. We need each other's focus. We need each other's suggestions. I will fight for the funds for this district. The money that's already been allocated and budgeted for this district, I will fight for it to stay here. I will fight for roads and infrastructure. If you ride up and down Mall Street, you understand what I'm saying every day, tearing up our vehicles. I will build bridges between the police and the community, which is much needed. We will capitalize and take advantage of our opportunity zones that's been here. Many people say it's not a quick flip. We understand that, but grandparents and parents like myself, we are investment minded. We think future. So if the bridge is coming in, we want to have something in place that will draw people into our community. It doesn't matter because it'll be an overhead. We still want people, like you said, Sarah, to get off that bridge and see it beautified to the degree that it will cause them to want to come see what's going on. That's what I'm looking forward to do. I know it won't happen overnight. I know it'll take a lot of work, but we are here to see that transformation happen. Whoever I am on that council with, while we serve, they will know my heart and my passion is for District 5. Working in the community, knowing the systemic issues of the demographics that's in our community, we need someone in this seat that will make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Saez?
4 issues: economic struggle, crime, blight, infrastructure, I-49. We have multiple issues, you know. And I think that government needs somebody that's going to be multifaceted in solving these issues. For me, I can't stand and sit on the sideline and keep watching our community struggle. You know, I bring hard work. This notion that, and I'm not even reading this no more. I'm a hard speak talker. Listen, this notion that government is slow, I don't believe that. I think we are not intentional. I don't think we're aggressive enough. I don't think we're vocal enough. Look, leadership has not been strong in our community, to be honest with you. I think that in this next election, I think that when you go to the polls, it's important to look for leadership skills in that person. I bring that to the table. I'm hardworking. I built an insurance company from the ground up. I founded a nonprofit. And I'm telling you guys right now, our community is bleeding. And if we don't choose correctly, our community will bleed out. My name is Matthew Size Jr., number 124 on the ballot.
Thank you. Ms. Roy?
So I'll say it again. Government's a team sport, but every team needs a good captain. And so as many of you women here, I am the head of my household. and I pay the bills, and I can show you 10 years of spreadsheets and budgets. I get the kids to work. To school. I sign the papers. I work my job. Plus, I have a business on the side. We do it all, and we know how to do it. And so I've seen the problems. And so being a creative problem solver, you guys, I've been working since I saw the problem. I've been volunteering in this community. I've been teaching in this community. And since before I decided to run, I started having meetings with people at LCG. I started having meetings with community leaders and faith leaders, trying to not only address what the issues are, but seeing what they thought were potential solutions. And if the solutions weren't here in this community, I sought outside of this community for potential solutions. And so I look forward to doing things like bringing back our redevelopment authority and really trying to engage. They're doing great work in Baton Rouge right now, and I'd love to implement something like that here. I think we should definitely have quarterly meetings with our school board to really assess the things that are happening in our school system, because they are a direct reflection of our community and vice versa. I'd love to create a tiered system where we really empower the faith-based community, the nonprofit community, and just leaders within our community, and give them the tools they need to do it. Because this isn't a one-person job. No one of us up here is gonna fix our community. It's gonna have to take us working with the people there that are already doing the good work. And then to eliminate crime and blight, we have to start investing in things like our Parks and Rec system. We have to continue to invest in our library system so these kids can see hope and they can see that there's a future out there that's better for them than the one that they're seeing at home on the streets. Also for community engagement, Liz Webb-Abear has a newsletter that she sends out monthly, and I think that's great. I think that's how we're gonna get people involved, because I have kids. Number 123.
Thank you. Mr. Pope?
First off, thanks to the LWV for sponsoring this job interview. It's been an honor to be in front of you. I'm going to set a new standard, folks. I'm going to show you a council member like you've never seen before. I will be active. I will be hands-on. I did it for 27 years in the environmental division. It's on my information card. I solved problems for 15,000 people over my 27-year career. You think that's an exaggeration? It is not. I will continue doing that. Here's my plan. I will be an ambassador. This opportunity zone is a great thing. It's not going to happen passively. I will be out pursuing people. You're going to have to pursue them. They will not come to you. This council, our current council, far too passive. They don't do their homework. I've watched government for 27 years from the inside. I will set a new standard. I will be out doing cleanups. I organized cleanups my entire 27-year career. I've seen the Chester drawers on Veterinarian Drive for weeks now. And a couple of tires. You know what'll happen? I'll call it into Public Works. I'll put it on my log. When it's not picked up, I will go pick it up, and I will call them out. Because inaction has to stop. We have too much inaction in this government. We have too much big government. You notice people didn't know the jargon? You don't know what's in Plan Lafayette. You don't know what's in store. A carbon tax, using smart meters to conserve energy. It's all in there, folks. Indoctrination of our young people, it will blow your mind. When I get in, I will have education farms. You will find out what's in Plan Lafayette. I plan to set a new standard. I will be a full-time ambassador and council member. I will change Lafayette City District 1. Mark Pope, number 123. Thank you.
Thank you.
122.
No. 121. 121. He said it right. 121. Proven leadership.
Thank you.
It's easy to talk about what you're going to do, what I might do, what I try and do. Or if I see something, I'll try and get it done. When I decided to run in 2015, I came with experience. I hear someone talk about 27 years in government. I had 26 years in government with the school system. 26 years. I came with a $15 million budget under my belt. I was ready. I didn't sit down and wait to be trained. I wasn't a rookie, only a rookie to find out what department I need to contact to get things done. I knew the budget. I retired as a sales tax auditor. I audited books. I maybe ordered some of you guys in here. Maybe I did. And I know I did because I see some of y'all now. So I came experienced. not someone that's trying to get the experience. You can hear everyone talking about what they probably will do. I did it. Look at my card right here. Look in the back. It's in the back there. You can tell what I did. When you talk about government moves slow, it does move slow. I don't care what they tell you. It does move slow because your money, it's not my money, the councilman's money that makes things happen. You hear someone talk about a mortgage loan company. I owned the mortgage loan company back in 1999 until 2002. Check my record. I sold insurance. I'm not trying to build up my business right now. I sold insurance. I'm a business owner as well, a retired person from the Lafayette Parish School System after 26 years. I have 14 years of banking. I have what it takes to continue operating and being the voice of District 1. I'm still District 3, but in January, I'll be District 1. I have the experience. So when it's time to start the new council, I'm ready. Patrick Pat Lewis, 121. Don't forget, Mark.
And Mr. Ford.
Ladies and gentlemen, I come humbly to you this afternoon to say to you all, this city is changing. A lot of people are sitting here, we're talking about what we are going to do and what I have done, but it's really not about us. It's about our community. It's about each and every one of you in this room tonight. It's about everybody in the middle serving the two ends, the elderly and our children. That's what it's about. What are we going to turn over to our kids? Are we going to continue to turn over division? Or are we going to show them this is how you grow a community? This is how you lead. We have to be example for our kids. And no one loves the city of Lafayette more than I do. My family has invested in this community for over 60 years. My grandmother was the head chef at Don Seafood for 55 years. We created the Cajun Creole cultural cuisine. My family is still investing. My wife and I have invested over $10 million in senior housing, connecting healthcare services to housing for seniors, preventing premature placement inside of institutions. We have employed over 120 people, adding $1.5 million payroll. We are job creators. I've been in business for 40 years. I will look at city government just as it is. It's a business of the people. And we have to be intentional, and we have to understand that the budget that we control is not our budget, it's your budget. We have to be good stewards of your budget. And I'm asking y'all to elect John Ford, number 120 on the ballot.
Thank you, candidates, and good luck with your campaigns. And we hope that you feel that you can make a more informed decision about which council candidate meets your expectations. Voting will take place in 1 month on October 12th. The League of Women Voters has also a voter guide available on our website at www.lwv-lafayette.org. Thank you for watching, and we hope you'll be able to join us later for upcoming forums. Thanks again to our timekeeper, the candidates, the main library, and AOC Media.